I know this is not the normal type of video that I make, but this is a special occasion. I will probably not make any more of these kind of videos, but I might if a new Halo game comes out or the Iron Man movie. Also, this video contains spoilers, so if you don't want spoilers, then don't watch this video. And it is my first video with a script, so if it sounds weird, that's why. Now, let's start the video. Movies! Everyone has watched at least one of them, unless you don't have access to the internet. There are many types of movies like horror, action, drama, a lot of drama, comedy, thriller, and many more. Video games! Everyone has played one, unless you're 80 or 4, or you don't have access to the internet. Now, what if you take a very known video game franchise and you make it a little more shit and then take your own spin on it, which most people don't like, then shove that into a 1 hour and 50-minute movie? Well, my friend, you get a video game movie. They are often not so good, but they have gotten better over the years, like the Mario movie or both the Sonic movies, most of the time. But then you have those that are really bad, like the Resident Evil movies, or the Doom movie, or even the Halo TV show. Now, what happens if you make one of, if not the most known horror game ever, into a movie? Well, you get your already title, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. So recently I watched the FNAF movie with 2 friends. Now I will review the movie, talk about the things I like, the things I don't like, and my favorite scenes. In the short way, the movie was meh. Not that it was a bad movie or anything like that, it just felt a little bit too childish at times. We will get there when I talk about the things I like and the things I don't like. Also, some of the reviews, like the IGN reviews, say that fans want more scares, not story. But that's wrong. But to some extent, they're not that wrong. And I know that doesn't really make sense, but just hear me out. Like, I was never scared when I watched the movie. I was more expecting most of what happened. Like, the things that was supposed to scare me didn't. Like the balloon boy jump scares, and I'm terrified of dolls, but still it just didn't get me. But hey, that's just what I think. Well, that was more like the long way, so next. This is gonna be a shorter one, but that's not because I didn't like most of the movie, it's fun. But that's not because I didn't like most of the movie, it's mostly because I think it was a little too short at the good times and a little bit too long at the bad times. Like, it just felt like it was too long at the boring times. So yeah, numero uno, William Afton. I actually loved William Afton in this movie. He was more like a psycho than he was in the games. I don't know how, but I like it. So it's sad that we barely saw anything of him in the movie. Numero 2, Cupcake. Even though I was not that big of a fan of the design of the animatronics, I loved the cupcake and that it actually did something instead of just looking at you menacingly. Number 3, the deaths. The deaths are pretty cool and actually somewhat scary, which I like. Nummer 4, the lore. The lore slash story of FNAF is a mess. So I like that in the movie the lore was easier to understand than in the games. But still crazy enough so that you still know it's FNAF. Nummer 5, the dreams and pictures. The dreams and pictures were a pretty cool concept. I like how the pictures change how the animatronics act, like how they were under Afton's control until Abby changed the picture to show what he actually did. The dreams about the children were really cool, and I liked that when he actually caught one of them, the child did some spooky shit. It's hard to explain, okay? 1. Abby. I think that Abby's character was just not that good. She was not acted bad, she was just written bad. 2. Vanessa is William Afton's daughter? Vanessa even being in the movie was a little irritating to me, but when I saw the movie, her character was actually one of the best in the movie. But her being William's daughter was a bit worse. It really didn't do anything when we found out she was William's daughter, so I don't know why they did it. Also, how they revealed it was a bit underwhelming. 3. The animatronics. The designs were not that bad. It was just that they had fur, which upset me a bit, because if I'm correct, they don't have fur in the games. And I know it's like weird because they don't need to be exactly like the game. I mean, it's a movie, it's not the games, but it would just, I think it would look cooler if they were more like made out of metal than fur. So, and the addition makes them look more like plushies than robots in some way. 4. Foxy's hum. They changed Foxy's hum, I think, at least. 5. They did not have the FNAF music in the movie, which was a bit disappointing, but it's not that big of a deal, but I would have liked to see it at least. 6. Where's Scary? There was not enough Scary in the movie. Like, I think that if they had some sort of jump scare with the iconic sound, it would scare me, but there was just no real jump scares. And all the ones that were fake jump scares with the balloon boy, which just they were not scary. 7. Super scary scene. Now, this might scare you, so if you're easily scared, you should skip ahead, because in the most terrifying, horrible, scariest thing I think I've ever seen, in the most horror movie fashion, they build a gigantic pillow fort for the animatronics. Yeah. This is a horror movie, guys. 1. But hey, that's just a theory. So some of the characters, Karen, Lawyer Man, Babysitter Girl, and Thief Man, they are in a restaurant and a waiter comes to ask if they want anything, and oh my god, it's Matt Pat! Yeah, Matt Pat is in the movie, and he says, "That's just a theory." Oh my god! Are you guys seeing this shit? Are you guys seeing this shit? Epic break-in. So 3 people, Thief Man, Big Thief Man, and Little Thief Man, break into wreck Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to ruin Mike's job so Karen can get the rights to Abby so she gets money, I think, if I understood it right. Then the animatronics wake up and kill them in very cool ways, like the thief gets his face ripped off by the cupcake, which looks goofy as hell, but it's still pretty cool. The big thief gets mangled by Bonnie in a closet, and the eyes just appearing out of nowhere was really cool. It's almost like a cameo to the first game where you just teleport around instead of walking. I guess. I don't know. Maybe it is. If it is, that's cool. And the last thief hides in the security room and sees Big Thief dying on the cameras. And then he sees Chica putting the cupcake in the vent, so he has to block the vent. Then he dies from Foxy. So every animatronic gets to kill someone. But what about Freddy? Who is he gonna kill? I hear you ask in the audience. Well, Babysitter Girl decides to go in the pizzeria to check if they are soon done. She then sees a child that tells her to follow him, so she does. and the child leads her to some sort of back room where he hides in Freddy. So she gets a ladder and climbs up to Freddy's mouth, where the child's hand comes out of Freddy's hand and grabs her and pulls her in Freddy's mouth. Then Freddy bites her in fucking half.
Was that the bite of 87?
Like, that's a bit overreacting, but yeah, she's fucking dead. Also, it's the best scene. I always come back. Now this one is gonna need some explaining. So basically, William Afton can control the animatronic somehow. In the final scene, we meet Springtrap, aka William Afton, and he beats the shit out of Mike in a suit. Like, he literally kicks him across the room. He then calls for the animatronics to watch him stab Mike to death, but then Vanessa comes and shoots him in the chest, but it does nothing. And then he stabs her in the stomach, killing her, hopefully. And then Mike learns that to get control of the animatronics, he has to change the picture on the wall, but Mike can't stand up because all of his ribs just got fucking broken because he got kicked across the room. So he tells Abby to draw a new picture which shows that Springtrap is killing the children instead of making them happy. With that information, the animatronics turn against him, and then the spring locks close. Now for the score I'm giving this movie. It's a drumroll 6 out of 10. It wasn't that good in my opinion, but when you have been working on a movie like that since 2015, the chance of you ever making a movie so good that everybody's happy is literally 0. So is every other movie, and it was never going to meet the hype for most people. If you want me to make more of these kind of videos, then feel free to comment a game or another movie, or there's nothing really else I can do, review anything. Feel free to do that in the comment section. And now, here's some of the bloopers. And he says, that's just a 3. Number 3, the deaths. The deaths. The deaths. The deaths are pretty. The deaths are pretty cool. The deaths are pretty cool, and oh my god, the deaths are pretty cool and actually somewhat scary. But when I saw the movie, her restaurant, and a waiter comes to ask if they want anything, and oh my god, it's Matt Pat! Oi. Break into wreck Freddy's and up because he's ribbed. So yeah, that was some of the bloopers. Once again, if you want me to do more of these kind of videos, just comment something below and I might do it. But yeah, I don't really have an outro.